love is gone, that your love is gone.
You struggle against Samuel's grip on your waist. You asshole, let me down. You kick his chest with your knees and his back with your fists. Your stomach was hurting since he placed you at his shoulder. Just shut the fuck up, he yells and throws you on the land where you land above the leaves. Glaring at him, you stand up while removing the dust from your skirt. Why am I here? You huff and look at him with pissed expression. He smiles and places your left hand on top of his heart. You make my heart go crazy, in. His words make you confused than you already are. Are you crazy? One sec you're acting hateful and all and… Never mind. But do you expect me to like you? Seriously? You pull your hand back from his hold. You fold your arms. Aren't you that psychopath who killed girls? You don't even know where this confidence came from. Aren't you a girl too? He smirks and his hands snake around your neck. You freeze as his hands turn to something furry and rough. And in a blink of your eye, he becomes half wolf and half human. I thought that I'd give you chance if you accepted me, but God had planned other things for you. Pour in. You try to step back, but he presses you against his chest, and you scrunch your nose because he smells like a dog which needed to take a bath for several years. He licks your earlobe and you push his body away only to receive no movements. There's no running now, in. His hands dig into your skin of your neck, and you hit his hands several times. You can't imagine how long I've waited for this moment, to taste your flesh, your blood. His nails pierce through your skin and your body jolts at the sudden pain. Moving your legs, you kick him where you find necessary to. Surprisingly, his hands leave your neck and you fall on the ground breathing heavily. Your hands reach your neck where you feel wet liquid on your hands, your blood. Standing on wobbly legs, you back away as Samuel seems too pissed off to be normal. You'll pay for that, in. That are the last words from him as he changes to a wolf, a dark brown wolf. At this moment you regret saying that you like wolf forms. You take a step backwards followed by another step. Turning around, you run even if you know that it's the most stupid thing to do. And Samuel proves your statement right by jumping on you. You fall on your face as his forelimbs keeps you in place from the back. You try to overpower him and stand, but his claws dig into your skin, which makes you spill tears on the dry leaves lying on the ground. Samuel, it hurts. Samuel, please. You plead when he digs deeper into your skin. Sam, ah. His teeth bites your neck harshly and you're paralyzed on your position. Your hands make their way this his head and you pull his fur as hard as you can. The pain on your neck was unbearable. You expect him to leave your neck, but he moves his teeth while digging his teeth on your neck. Several cries leave your mouth. Your eyes get heavy as the wolf shamelessly licks your neck where the wound is. Your body flinches when the being on top of you gets yanked away. You can barely keep your eyes open. Moving your neck is really the last thing you want to do right now. You hear many growls and running steps. You're conscious, but your body refuses to keep you aware of the sounds of the surrounding. Minutes later, your body is turned to lay you on your back, but you can't see the person who does that. Your vision is still blur. The sounds, or rather words from the speaker, goes unheard from you. But at some point, you recognize this voice. Jungkook? You hand reach to his hand, which is on your cheek. Your eyes roll back as you're met with darkness. Jungkook picks your body in bridal style and eyes the injured body of Samuel. How much you want to tear that body into pieces, but your life is currently on the line. Jungkook runs towards the center of the woods, the forest too familiar for him to find any location. Arriving on a certain location in front of a house, he rushes inside without knocking. The old woman sitting on the couch jumps, slightly startled. Jungkook, you could knock, oh holy shit. She runs towards Jungkook, seeing your body in his arms. She measures your pulse. Place her in the room, I'll be right back. She walks away and Jungkook wastes no time to bring you to a room with medicines around the room. He places you on the small bed. The woman comes to the room and starts wiping your neck with a towel and water. Who did this to her? She says in a demanding voice. Jungkook sighs, Samuel. And I think he is the killer who's being searched all over the city. The woman continues to treat your wound, and soon the other guys and Jenny arrive at the house. Seeing your heartbreaking state, Jenny sits beside you. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have let her go with that asshole. She wipes her tears with her hands. Grandma, when is she gonna wake up? At Hosok's question, the woman sighs. She may not even wake up. The guys shoot their eyes at her. Look, she lost a lot of blood, and there's no way that she's gonna stay alive if she's human for any longer. The boys exchange glances at each other, leaving out Jenny, who's confused on what's going on. A ringtone breaks the pin-drop silence of the room. Jenny gulps before showing the boys the caller ID. Your mom. She's a werewolf, and she has the right to know. Jenny, tell her that we all are here. Namjoon states, and Jenny immediately answers the call. Telling the whole incident to her, Jenny sighs in relief as she hangs up the call. She's gonna be here soon. Just as she finishes her sentence, the doorbell rings and Jenny chuckles, maybe a little too soon. Your mom walks inside the room, and seeing you in this stage makes her leave some tears from her eyes. Oh my God, she exclaims as her hand shakes to reach up to your cheek. Brushing your cheek, she knows what's going to happen to you. Your heart rate was too slow, and you could be dead any minute from now. She cries more, knowing that she can't do anything even if she wants to. I never thought that she'd be dying like this. Your mother exclaims as she cries in Jenny's arms. Seeing the woman in pain, the room goes silent. There's actually a way. Her heartbeat is still there, so if any werewolf mark her as his mate, she'd surely survive. The old woman sighs as she walks towards your mother. Pulling her into a hug, she says, It's okay. Nothing is permanent. Try to build up some courage for yourself. Jenny asks the elder out of her curiosity. If she's marked by a wolf, she survives, right? The old woman nods her head. Jenny continues, Will she remain a human or change into a werewolf? She's a daughter of a human dad and werewolf mom, so she's likely to be a wolf, but she can remain as a human on some cases. Jenny nods at the elder. She asks again, And what about the mate which is still to be discovered by the wolf? The old woman shrugs. She'll find another one. Mates are easy to change but harder to leave. The room falls silent as their mind are all evolved with your condition. Your whimpers echo throughout the room and your mom panics. She caresses your hand, kissing it continuously. Getting enough of your pain and about to die condition, the boy speaks, making everyone stunned. I'll do it. I'll mark her as mine. I'll do it. I'll mark her as mine. Are you serious? This is not a simple thing to say. Namjoon stands from the tool that he is sitting on. But we can't just let her die. And it's not easy too. What about your mate? Jungkook, she'll wander here and there searching for you. Jimin rubs his temple, unhappy of the Maknae's words. I know that, but won't she find another mate just like Mrs. Kang said? Jungkook looks at the elder, expecting answers. The elder does. Yes, you're right, but it is also likely for her to take much longer time. You know well that mates are bonded since birth, so it'll be harder for her to accept someone who's not her fated mate. And for you too, it'll be harder than you think. You may even not grow feelings for In. She explains and looks at your mother, who's quietly listening to everything. Your mother wants Jungkook to do that, but she fears for what happened to her and her mate in the past. My mate was killed and I had met In's father long ago. But I can't still find a way to love him like I did to my mate, Jungkook. This is not right. She can die peacefully. You don't need to. She gets interrupted by Jungkook. No, I'm doing it. I can't just let someone die this easily, and she has the right to live. I'm well aware of the consequences. Please give me the permission to make my move. Jungkook genuinely offers as he looks at you and your mother. You better not regret this, Jungkook, Jin says with dominance and warning evidence in his voice. The old woman clears her throat. Then, the marking session will be held tonight at midnight. Jungkook nods and looks at your shivering body. He sighs, hoping that he won't regret his decision. Somewhere he feels that this won't work out. Time skip. Jungkook, you really want to do that? Jimin asks Jungkook as they both stride towards the room where you are kept at. Jungkook lowers his head. Hyung, I don't know. He admits that he's confused, but he doesn't want to let you go either. But I want to keep her alive. She's such a nice girl and she doesn't deserve to die like this. And it's my fault. If I had been there earlier, Samuel wouldn't have done such a great harm. And talking about Samuel, he's being searched by Namjoon and the others. Jimin says as he remembers the other boys leaving the cottage a couple of hours ago. Jungkook nods as they both arrive in front of the medical room. He takes a deep breath and smiles at Jimin, who smiles back hesitantly. You better not regret this. Jimin warns him whilst laughing to light up the mood. Jungkook nods again, not gonna regret it. They both step inside as they see that your mom and the old woman are taking care of your body, which is in half-dead alive condition. Your mom looks at Jungkook and sighs. You can back away when you still have time, Jungkook. Jungkook smiles at her as he makes his way towards your body. Sitting on the edge of the bed, he caresses your cheek. I want to save her. Your mother's heart flutters as she can see the determination and care for you in his eyes. Maybe I'm worrying too much. She shakes her head and looks at your face, which shows frustration. Since they brought you here, you are constantly frowning and moving but won't wake up. There's 5 minutes remaining till midnight. Jungkook, are you sure? Mrs. Kang speaks and Jungkook tries to calm himself because for the last few hours everyone's asking him if he's sure of his decision, like as if he wants to back away. Nonetheless, he nods calmly. I'm sure of it. The woman just nods and soon your mother and Jimin leave the room, leaving him with the doctor. This is not going to be a complete marking session because she's in no condition to mark you. So, you gotta do your role and later feed her your blood. Got it. The woman hands Jungkook a pill and a glass of water and adds, immediately after it's over, feed her this pill. It's to heal her wounds faster as she emerges out to new life. And make sure to call us if anything abnormal happens. Jungkook nods, taking the pill from her hand, and she walks out of the room before saying, don't regret this later. Why is everyone so worked up for this? I said that I'll do it, so I'll do it. He says to himself and places the pill and the water glass on the nightstand. And did they have to go outside? He tilts his head in confusion and shrugs immediately. He sits on the edge of the bed and stares at you. Jungkook, you can do it. He leans over to kiss you on your forehead. Then he slowly trails his lips to your neck. Since he met you through Jenny, he would always find your scent captive and immediately trace wherever you were. And that was one of the main reasons how he found you immediately after Jenny texted the group about your disappearance. He had learned about marking mates through the elders. Well, every young werewolves do. Removing the band-aid that's covering your wound, he licks the wound and smears at the metallic taste. Hovering over you, he feels his claws growing and his eyes changing color. He brings out his teeth towards your neck, and he can still smell the scent of Samuel's aura on you. The moonlight enters through the curtains on your face. Biting your neck, he feels you moving under him. The bite heals once Jungkook pulls back his teeth, but the Samuel's one remains still. Now all he needs to do is make you feed his blood. He bites his wrist and puts his wrist just over your mouth. The blood enters your mouth and subconsciously you drink it. Jungkook purses his lips as he sees you drinking his blood thirstily. The blood is already starting to show its effect. He watches as a crescent moon-shaped mark slowly appears on the place below your neck where he had just bit to. He removes his hand from your mouth as you stop moving, falling asleep. He quickly grabs the pill and glass as he pats your cheek to wake you up in any way possible. Wake up. He takes a breath of relief as you open your eyes to look at him. He hands you the pill and you swallow it using water. Partially asleep, you hum at him when he asks if you can hear him. He lays you back and covers your body with the blanket. Opening the door, he's met with everyone whose faces are concerned with impatience. Jungkook, did it go all right? Jimin asks as he sees the youngest stepping out of the door. Jungkook smiles at him. It went well. Your mother enters the room followed by the others. She sighs as she sees the mark on your neck. When will she wake up? Jungkook questions them, and they all look at him. She's likely to wake up fully maybe some days later. Her body will be adapting with the changes for some days. Yoongi answers as he sits on the couch.